If you've ever received a negative review or even worse, a 1-star review, today I'm going to teach you exactly how to handle this and turn a negative into a potential positive. So keep on listening. Welcome to The Rebel Show, the podcast for estheticians who want to grow their business, master social media, and perfect their waxing technique. I'm Brie Mesquit, esthetician, business coach, and founder of Rebel Wax and First to Market Wax Pads. I built a 6-figure clientele, a 7-figure brand, and have trained over 15,000 waxers through my in-person and online courses. Are you struggling to book clients or market yourself? You're in the right place. Each week, I bring real business strategies, waxing education, and no BS advice to help you grow. Let's get into it. If you guys have ever received a 1-star review, I know it freaking sucks. It sucks for all of us. I've had it happen, but I'm going to break it down to you what this means and what we can do about it, okay? This can actually, it's the whole turn lemons into lemonade. I promise you, we can flip this and make it a positive for your business in the future. All right, so I'm just going to get straight into it. Save this episode. Come back to it. If you've never received a negative or 1-star review, that is awesome. We want to keep it that way, but I also want you guys to be prepared if it ever does happen, okay? The more volume you do and the more clients you're seeing and the more successful your business is, the more likely you're eventually going to run into this. So first things first, this does not mean that you have failed, okay? Your business isn't going under. I know I've had many of those panic attacks. I'm like, this is it. I'm going under. I need to go get a regular job now. Like shutting the doors. It feels like that in the moment. I know it does, but you have not failed. And we're going to walk through exactly what to do. So first step, okay? We do need to take accountability and have some self-awareness, okay? So we do need to take an unbiased look. So I always have a rule. We absolutely cannot react out of emotion. We need to respond professionally. So follow the 24-hour rule. That's what I really force myself to do. If something like this happens and it sparks like this chaos within and you just feel terrible and you want to jump to a reaction and defend yourself or whatever it is, you need to take 24 hours. Vent to a spouse, a significant other, a friend. Do not take this online, but just give yourself 24 hours, okay? And then I really want you to take an unbiased look at the review. Is there some part of this that has some truth? Is there a system that's maybe broken? Is there communication that could have been better? Is there something that needs to be posted and added to your website, maybe policy-wise, or just to make sure things are very clear and easy for clients to understand what expectations and your policies are. So always do that first, okay? And you really have to truly give this a good hard look. Like I've had to do this plenty of times, both when client-facing problems, like not knowing my last-minute rescheduling policy or cancellation policy, or that we don't offer refunds on services already rendered, like things like that. And then I've also dealt with it in the product space as well, of not thinking of things ahead of time, like, I don't know, not being able to return, open, and use wax pads because of sanitation issues. So every time one of these things happens, my team and I, we've trained ourselves to really look and be like, okay, where can we improve? We need to add this to the website. We need to make sure it's clear. So that's the first step. That's what I need you guys to do, is really take an unbiased look at this, okay? Second step is reaching out to the client privately and trying to figure out if there's some sort of way you can try to make things right. Sometimes we have to eat it a little bit and take a short-term loss for long-term gain. Now, this can be a little bit difficult when they've already left the 1-star negative review. So I just really want to reach out and acknowledge them, let them know that you hear them, you understand. Doesn't mean automatically take blame. If you're not at fault, and there's going to be times when you just have some crazy clients that are like unpleasable, but we still want to do our part. And I need you to keep this in mind, okay? Even though you're texting privately, never say anything that you wouldn't want screenshotted and shared publicly, okay? And that you wouldn't want current clients or potential future clients to ever read. You gotta play it black and white. I even recommend having, I think it was Jane that said she did this, and I thought it was brilliant, having a fake assistant. You can have a fake assistant or have like an alias name that manages your emails and text messages with clients. You can use that as well. Or Or that might not feel as personal because you're the one who provided the service. So reach out, but have that mental mindset shift of this is not Bree, the owner and service provider. This is Bree, the employee of whatever your business name is, and you're having to act on behalf of the business, okay? You have to create some sort of mental separation. It's so easy to say, don't take it personally, but it feels very personal because this is a very personal, intimate services that we offer, and it is usually us solo. So like, it's hard to not take it personal. It does feel very personal, but we need to respond very professionally, okay? And I know it can be difficult to do, but some of the, I have to say, it absolutely blows me away how some professionals are communicating with their clients. I see it posted and I'm like so confused sometimes when some of these conversations are posted within professional Facebook groups and I'm reading, I'm like just surprised that the professional feels comfortable to share how they were communicating with their client. It's wild. We are still in a service and customer service based industry, and it's really important that you keep that professionalism. And I've fallen into this before too. I've definitely responded out of emotion when people have gotten really nasty. Like I've been a little bit passive aggressive, I would say. And now sometimes reading back on things that happened 4 or 5 years ago, I'm like, ooh, I've matured a lot. So easier said than done, but it just takes reps and sets to be able to get better at this. So that's the next thing. You're reaching out privately and you're trying to make it right in some way, shape, or form, or at least acknowledging to them and saying, I'm so sorry that I did not meet your expectations. Utilize ChatGPT for this stuff, you guys, too. Like talk through it with chat and then obviously make sure that you make any edits needed. It's all in the way that you prompt it, okay? So when I utilize chat for something like this, I talk into it saying what I would naturally just want to say, and then it just tightens it up a little bit, puts a little bow on it, so I'm using correct grammar, but it's still my words and my thoughts. Quick interruption to the show. Before you skip though, hear me out. If you're an esthetician or a student and you want real waxing education without dropping thousands of dollars, this is for you. I created a completely free online hard waxing course that teaches you everything you need to know to confidently start taking clients. And the best part is you can work through at your own pace, because reality is most estheticians build bad habits through figuring things out on their own, or they jump straight into a hands-on course without first building their foundation, leaving them just as confused and now out hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. This training includes all your hard waxing 101, common mistakes, proper technique, full demos from brows to toes, everything in between, including multiple Brazilian demos and even men's non-intimate waxing as well, plus full supplies checklist and even some business guidance. This is for licensed estheticians and students, and yes, it's completely free. Here's how to enroll. Go to training.lashandwaxoc.com/101 or click the link in the show notes below. Tap I want access, enter your first name, last name, and email. You will get an email instantly with your login link, or you can click create your account now on the confirmation page. Use the same email you signed up with and set your password. Make sure you save it so you can log in at any time and bookmark the course page. You'll get immediate access and you'll even have the opportunity to download a certificate of completion. Takes less than a minute to get enrolled and will change the way you wax. Now back to the show. All right, next thing is now you are going to be responding to the review online. So I'm going to give you a little story. My husband and I used to have a moving company in Orange County, California named Smooth Sailings Moving. I was very proud of coming up with that name. Anyways, we had over 500 five-star reviews on a site called movinghelp.com, I believe. Yes, it was partnered up with U-Haul. Anyways, we had tons of reviews on there. But then we did have a few where it was literally moving clients trying to steal from us. Like, I don't think they realized how this worked. Like, we didn't get paid if they didn't pay the platform. I don't know. Anyways, they would be so happy. They would be tipping my husband and the crew in cash. And then all of a sudden they would go complain on the site and like not pay. And like, it was it was chaos. It was crazy. We had a few really crazy clients. Like I'm talking like 8-10 hour moving days and us paying out our guys. Anyways, it felt like crap when that happened, especially at that time of our life too, where we were really living like client to client, move to move. Like we were in a tough spot. So anyways, what I got really good at though was responding to those negative reviews with facts, not feelings, first of all, and with in mind that I am responding for a potential future moving client, because I knew that when people were looking to hire help for their move, that they were going to first go and read the negative reviews. I knew that's human nature. Like how many of you guys have looked on Yelp or Google for like a restaurant or something, and you see all these positive reviews, but you get drawn to those negative ones. So I just knew that that's kind of like human tendency to do that. So I started going and looking at other companies' 1-star review, and from an unbiased, like outsider's perspective, some of their responses were so terrible. I was just like, oh my gosh, they seem so unprofessional. I would like never want to work with them. So it really clicked for me. I'm like, okay, these reviews are not for the person who left it. They've already made their decision that they don't like whatever, they were trying to get a free move, or that they didn't like us or whatever. They've already made that decision. They're not going to change their mind, nor do we need to change their mind because we already provided the service. But this was for the potential future customer, the potential future client. So I started responding in a way that was not taking ownership of whatever. If there was a flat out lie, I wouldn't own that and say that we did that. But I really figured out how to acknowledge the share facts, and then just give like a really solid professional response. Really, I wish I had like an example so I can kind of show you guys exactly how I go about and do this. I probably should have prepared that. But hey, if you guys have any negative reviews that you're like, I don't know how to respond to this, leave it in the comments below and I'm happy to help figure out how you can respond to it. But anyways, so with doing that, I always had my husband, I'm like, hey, every time you go on a job, always ask what made them choose us. Cause then I started gathering data from that. And I'm like, okay, we need to do more of this, more of this, more of this. Like that's what's getting people to book. Same thing with this industry too, with the beauty industry. Ask these questions. There's so many waxers, there's so many hairstylists, nail techs, like what made them book with you? And when you start getting the same answers over and over, you want to do more of that or make it more publicly known. So for example, maybe like you provide Brazilian waxes and they really like that you have a hot eucalyptus towel at the end of the service. Make that more known publicly, that on your Instagram or on your website or on TikTok that you provide that at the end of the service. Then maybe people will be like, ooh, I like that. That's a little extra special treat. And she still has fair pricing. I'm going to go try her out. Anyways, okay. So my husband would ask them, what made you book with us? And I can't even tell you how many times people were like, you guys are so professional in your responses, especially to negative reviews. And that made us stand out so heavily against all the other moving companies, because you guys, the way that some of these companies responded was wild. They would like be straight, like just duking it out with the client in the reviews. It was terrible. It was hard to read. It was like secondhand embarrassment, but it worked really well for us. So that's going to be what I need you guys to keep in mind, is I am responding to this in a way that I'm not responding necessarily for this particular client, but for future potential clients when they come across this and read this, okay? People are smart too. A lot of time, I know you guys have probably experienced this too. When you have gone and looked at a business and then read the reviews, and you can tell when it's just like disgruntled customers that were probably a big pain in the butt, but still, like it still means a lot by how the business responds. So people are smart. They'll catch on, especially if your response can give a little bit more clarity of like, I'm so sorry that you didn't want to give 24-hour notice and you text me 15 minutes into your appointment that you couldn't make it. Like, you're going to get charged. A little side note too, do not write a novel, okay? Do not write a novel. No one wants to read that. It looks just like word vomiting and it doesn't help us out at all. So just a little side note on your response. Like we want to keep black and white, short and sweet, to the point, facts, not feelings. No novels, okay? All right, guys, that's really all I have for you on this one, but I just want to leave you with this. If you're getting any negative feedback, if it's a lot, there might be a problem. We need to be self-aware. But if you're getting a little bit of negative feedback, that just means you're growing. Higher volume, it brings in more likelihood of something like this happening. And you do not need to be liked by everyone to be successful, okay? I just did an episode last week talking about lessons learned in 2025, and that was one of them, is like, not everyone's gonna like you. So it just kind of is what it is. We got to attract and find our people that do want your services and respect your boundaries. So it's really important that we stay professional, and how you handle pressure in situations like this, doing it in the right way, in a professional way, separates you as a professional versus those who are just really treating this as a hobby. And I know every one of you who's on here week after week listening to this and implementing what you're learning, you're definitely not a hobbyist. I know you're wanting to succeed and have your business grow and thrive and support yourselves and your family doing something you love. So this is something I just want you to keep in your tool bag and pull it out if needed. I don't want to say when, but it's kind of it's riding on the line of a when. It's kind of bound to happen, but if needed, now you know exactly what to do. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you for being here again. Super stoked on this new year. I hope you guys are getting after it already, listening to the podcast here, making sure you're subscribed. That would help us out a lot. And then I will see you back next week.